Hello everybody, I'm Franklin County Judge Executive Huston Wells. Last night we had a public hearing at the Paul Sawyer Library. There were many people out there and we heard from quite a few people. There were a lot of people that were on Zoom and we were unable to get to them. Also, several of you have sent your comments and suggestions in via email. Today I'm going to read those comments and suggestions that you sent in by email. And I'm going to read you a statement about how, if you were on Zoom last night and you want to make a comment, how to do that. So, thank you again for last night, and we hope today is helpful for you to get your comments and suggestions to us. We will do our best to answer them in every way we can. This is a Lakeview Park Master Plan public hearing update. First of all, we sincerely apologize for the inappropriate content from the anonymous Zoom users at last night's public hearing. These users hijacked an important event for our community, leaving us no option but to end the Zoom portion of the meeting. Therefore, if anyone wishes to make a comment or a question but was unable to do so because of the Zoom being disabled, you can email them to us at andrew.tippett@franklincounty.ky.gov. I'll say that again. andrew.tippett@franklincounty.ky.gov. That information is on our Facebook and our website. We will respond to your questions with an answer from the Hitchcock Design Group, the Park Committee, or Physical Court staff as soon as we can. Also, due to the meeting running over and our allotted time, we were unable to read the comments submitted via email prior to the meeting. These comments will be distributed to the Park Committee in their entirety. Additionally, in the near future, Judge Wells will read these comments, and I'm doing that today, on a video that will be posted to our Facebook page for public consumption. Finally, our next step in this process will be to hold a Park Committee meeting to discuss the comments made at the public hearing and to formulate a plan for the moving forward. We thank you for your understanding and participation in this important process. Together, we will strive to move forward in a way that best serves our community. Thank you again. Here's an email that was sent, and we'll just, they're in no particular order. I will give the name of the person that sent them, and I will read what they said. This is from Karen Mead. I would like to express our support for the inclusion of an indoor Olympic-sized pool in the Lakeview Park Master Plan. It is my understanding that a pool was to have been included initially. The citizens personally involved with the sport in Franklin County, like our daughter, Lindsay Jackson, can better articulate the argument for the pool, but I wholeheartedly support them. Please see that our concerns are given the consideration they deserve. Thank you. This is from Stephen Jones. Simply, we need an indoor pool. The YMCA does not appear to be an option in the foreseeable future, if ever. KSU has been great in the short term, but where are our kids going to learn to swim? What about our school swim teams? We need leadership with vision for our community. Stephen Jones. After attending the meeting and looking at the diagram, here is a thought. The area for motorsports would be able to fit a 50-meter pool, a true Olympic-sized pool with plenty of seating in a completely separate building. This would be a major draw for schools as well as swim clubs. Plus, the facility would have close access to the parking lot next to the softball fields. This could be a separate building, eliminating problems that might occur if it were combined with another building. Based on discussions, the motorsports area is used possibly 7 days a year. 50 meters long by 25 meters wide in comparison to the pool at the University of Louisville would be possible to run 2 swim meets at one time. Plus have an advantage of having plenty of lane space with a 25-yard pool. Athletes are either swimming on top of each other or sitting, waiting for lanes to clear. By Frank McClovick. Dear Mr. Wells and fiscal court members, I am writing to request the consideration of preserving the participation of opportunities for our student athletes, particularly in the sport of golf, with the planned renovations for Lakeview Park. The current driving range and putting green service all of our interscholastic golf programs in the city of Frankfort. These programs utilize the facility on a daily basis and have for many years. The number of student athletes and other youth alone that have benefited from the access and opportunities to learn and practice the game of golf is tremendous. There is a strong fear in the golf community and school level that if the proposed master plan is carried out for Lakeview Park, then the opportunities our youth have experienced in the past will become very limited. In a review of the published secondary plan, which was rejected, it seemed as though that more substantial effort to safeguard the opportunities for our children with the heated bays as well as a driving range with short game complex. Franklin County High School Athletics is very thankful for the partnership we've enjoyed with Lakeview Park for many, many years. The impact on our students has been very positive in so many different sports programs and other venues. We simply ask the additional review be given to the effect that the current proposed plan would have for golf community. Thank you again for so much for all that you've done for us in the past and for your time and consideration. Tracy Spickard, Franklin County High School Athletic Director. This one is from Zach Moore. I have a comment regarding the plans for the walking, running path at Lakeview. It appears in the master plan that there will be changes made to the path. Can someone explain what those changes would include? Currently, the 1.6 mile path is used heavily and is one of the nicest features of the park. I would implore the committee to make minimal changes to the path if possible. As an avid runner and someone who is in the park 3 to 4 times per week, I would not want to see the path become less accessible to its users. Thank you. Zach Moore. From Tracy Bottom. Why get rid of disc golf at Lakeview? Leagues and tournaments bring people to Frankfort every year. From Lindsey Johnson. I would like to see restrooms included closer to the new turf multi-use fields. The softball restrooms are too far away and are seldom open during soccer season. The road to these fields, along with the parking lot, need to be expanded and improved. Have you talked to the YMCA about field needs? This plan only shows 1 under 6 field, and from my experience, there are 2 to 4 under 6 fields being used simultaneously every Saturday for games and during practices on weeknights during soccer season. How will the golf course and driving range operate while the indoor facility is being constructed if it is going to overtake the building? I didn't watch every meeting, but I have watched all since November 1st. I still feel like the community needs an indoor pool more than 24 pickleball courts or a convention space. Graduation is 1 day a year, and I haven't heard many other reasons why people feel we need a 4,000-seat venue. Thanks for your work on this, Lindsey Johnson. From Steve and Cindy Skinner. I am not in favor of changes at Lakeview Park Golf Facility. My grandson plays for Western Hills, and they need this practice facility. This new plan would not be good for many high school and college teams that use this facility daily for practice. I hope you will take this into consideration and not make changes. We need this facility for our young adults to further their golf careers. We also need so we can keep young people in our community. Hope to hear a positive outcome from our community. Steve and Cindy Skinner. This is from Don Stossberg. I commend the fiscal court for committing time and energy to some long overdue planning for parks and recreation improvements in Franklin County. Thanks for taking some leadership in this matter. I tried to find the plan and review it, but the only thing I could find was a rejected plan. The only discussion of the apparent current plan was a 2-hour YouTube video of a committee meeting that was to discuss the current plan. Call me a less than dedicated citizen, but I did want to watch a 2-hour video. I recommend that the next revision of the plan include an executive summary of the plan. It should include bullet points describing the key elements in the final recommendation with links to the details of each item. Citizens should not be required to be master researchers in order to find out what is in the plan. Here are my thoughts about recreation plan for the county. All projects should be planned and funded jointly by the city and county. We need the resources of both entities to build state-of-the-art facilities. The city and county must work together for good of all. The county is focusing on the Lakeview Park because they own it, and it is ready and ripe for development. That is not long-range strategic thinking. Some items are ripe for Lakeview locations such as golf, driving range, but others are not such as a convention center. Aquatic facility, Franklin County desperate needs a modern indoor aquatic facility. Let's build it. Any convention center must be built in the heart of the city, not on one side of town. I suggest Holmes Street area be considered for a downtown convention center. Pickleball is a very fast-growing sport. The rec center of the future should include some pickleball courts. Thank you, Don Stossberg. This is from Lila Johnson. I apologize for being late in sending my comments about the proposed changes to Lakeview Park. I'll be honest, while I desire more recreational opportunities in Franklin County, I do worry about the proposed changes to Lakeview Park. I personally think that Lakeview Park is a wonderful area to relax and enjoy outside activities. The city seems to do something to enhance their park every year. I agree that Franklin County needs a convention center, indoor recreation center with a pool, but I don't know if Lakeview Park is a place to put this. Some of my concerns include increased traffic, the possibility of having to have a permit to park, increased noise, and a few soccer fields for recreational sports. In addition to voicing my concerns, I do have a question to ask in the event that Lakeview Park Committee is definitely going to be used to make Lakeview Park is definitely going to be used to make change and additions. Why is an aquatic center not included? It seems that most of the public would like to see this happen, so why not add that when talking about the building? Thank you for reading my email, Lila Johnson. This is from Andrea Muller. I'm open to what the professionals have to say will be best serve our community and regional needs. I'm excited about the plan and possibly finally having something nice to add to our community to help with the quality of life and economic development. We have not ever had anything like this, and I applaud the Parks Committee, Hitchcock Group, and Pros Consulting for their work on the project. Regarding any requests for tennis, there are 30 courts in Frankfort. We can revitalize those. I understand that Lakeview Park will not be able to fit all needs, but hopefully it will address majority needs and regional needs. I would love to see the county or city or a combined effort to make sure that a pool is somewhere. It doesn't have to be Lakeview Park. Preferably redo KSU pool with county, city, YMCA management. Complete takeover since that is an existing resource. We need a pool as a community, but again, I understand the final implications of such a feature, and that is why I'm supporting redoing the KSU pool for community use. I think it is important to include the YMCA and city on this discussion and ensure efforts are not duplicated if the YMCA and city have no plans and it is possible to add to Lakeview financially even better, it is possible to add to Lakeview financially even better. Thank you, Andrea Wilson Mueller. This is from Mary Hamilton. While I do understand that a great deal of the public input has gone into creation of the master plan for Lakeview Park, it saddens me to see that an indoor swimming pool, even though very high on the list of what people said they wanted, is absent from the plan. Yes, I'm a person who had taken up swimming at KSU after swimming at the Prevention Park and Downtown Y pools. At both Prevention Park and KSU, I saw people coming to swim who used canes, crutches, or leg braces, as well as people who needed no adaptive equipment. I think it is far too easy for recreation planners to forget that swimming is an activity that is not just accessible to competitive swimmers and the typical athlete, but is one of those few recreational activities that is accessible to those for whom many other athletic activities are no longer a good fit. Most of the people I saw at the pool were elderly, maybe because we had time to be there, or maybe because it was an activity that best suited our need to be active. The Frankfort area should have a large, accessible indoor swimming facility. That the master plan for Lakeview Park fails to include one is disappointing, for its failure to serve people for whom such a facility is truly a need. Mary Hamilton. This one is from Ida Palmer Ball. Andrew, I hope to get to the hearing tomorrow, but if I'm not able to, please read my comments aloud. Frankfort, Franklin County is in dire need of a working indoor pool. We need a facility like ones in Shelbyville, Versailles, and Georgetown. It needs to be at least 8 lanes in order to host swim meets. Our seniors need an indoor pool to keep fit. Our adults and youth need an indoor pool for exercise, swim lessons, and recreation. For local leaders to make plans for other facilities in Lakeview over an indoor pool, if it's the most wanted amenity as reported by the State Journal, is wrong. Don't count on the YMCA to take care of Frankfort. They have not done a good job in the past. But the leadership of the Y is in Lexington. We want a Frankfort-based facility that will be focused on Frankfort's needs. I challenge local, city, and county leaders to be bold and build an aquatic facility. Ida Palmer Ball. This message is from Suzanne Wren Casey. I want to join the other residents in Franklin County who have made an indoor pool the most asked for amenity for Lakeview Park to stress my wish that an indoor pool be added to the plans. A pool can be used to teach children to swim, for water aerobics, swim teams, high schools, master swimming, rehabilitation from injuries, and much more. It would be a year-round facility that can be used when other outdoor sports cannot be pursued in inclement weather. It is also a low-impact sport, recreation, that is beneficial to people of all ages, and that can be continued well into one's later years. As a woman in my late 70s, I know that is true. I feel year-round swimming has enabled me to shed unwanted pounds, improving my life and health greatly. People well into their late 90s still swim daily or compete in swim meets. I had been swimming for many years at Prevention Park and the downtown YMCA until both pools closed. Then swam at Exum Pool at KSU, also recently out of use due to heating problems. I especially feel it is very embarrassing that the capital city of Kentucky cannot or won't afford this amenity for local swimmers. As an LRC retiree with the Silver Sneakers card accepted by the Y and at Falling Springs Pool in Woodford County, I now drive 30 miles round trip 3 times a week to swim for an hour. At my age, that drive may become more difficult each year. Having a year-round pool near would be a great advantage to all Franklin County residents and others nearby. Many of my Franklin County acquaintances who are dedicated swimmers, and there are quite a few of them, are now taking advantage of Fallen Springs. Others are driving to Clear Creek Park in Shelby County to swim. Some may be going to the Pavilion in Georgetown, all of which have 8-lane indoor pools and are, unfortunately, a longish drive from Frankfort. Thank you for allowing me to express my thoughts. Suzanne Wren Casey. Phyllis Vincent. I had hoped to attend the open meeting last night at the library discussing the future of Frankfort, Franklin County. I have lived in Frankfort 48 years. I was a stay-at-home mom until our children were in school. I taught at Western Hills and Bondurant Middle School for 24 years. I'm now retired after 30 years of teaching. I grew up in a town of 2,500 to 3,200 folk. No one really had anything, but the community always looked after the children. We had a pool in the summer with full activities, a skating rink on the weekends during the school year, a movie theater with indoors for winter weekends, and parking spaces for warm weather. I recall moms and dads putting in efforts to provide activities for all of us at the time. I remember a huge snow where everything was closed. Businessmen put barrels across the main intersection so we could sleigh ride from the top of the hill down through town to the railroad tracks. One of the restaurants of Main Street gave us hot chocolate to drink. Simple but great times for kids. Franklin County provides a pool for summer swimming and lots of softball, baseball, and soccer during the seasons. As children get older, they either get involved in their school sports or what. School teams can be accepted only so many, and what about the rest of the children? We have Juniper Hills for golf, but it is hard to get on and usually occupied by adults as well as expensive. We have Lakeview driving range and a 3-hole golf, which requires some money. However, you are discussing reducing the size of that. Mr. Benassi is begging for more because of the student request to use the range in course by teams. We must take care of the kids. You want to attract people and business to Franklin County. May I suggest the first for you to observe are the school test scores. Don't just look at the state scores, which the state can manipulate, but look at how Franklin County rates with our own towns in our area. Review the NAEP scores as well as to compare states. The last 20 years have seen dumbed down curricula and lowered expectations to a shameful point. We need to demand more of our schools, we need to demand more of our schools for our children. Raise the bar and demand the work starting with central office, school principals, teachers, and parents. You need a community to attract families. We have history. We have bourbon on Main. We have state government. What about that attracts families? Have you talked about the river for decades? Have you really done nothing about that to attract family activity and fun? Parks for children's play. What happened to East Frankfort Park? It used to provide multiple activities for children. Juniper Hills is wonderful in the summer, but so crowded that some days you can't even get in. And what about older adults? I see you are going to help with building a senior center, but what about activities for seniors before that need? Swimming is one of the best exercises for older folk, and there is no place to go year-round to swim for them. Swim teams need indoor facilities to continue the swimming all year. Shuffleboard courts, bocce ball courts, pickleball courts, as well as the disc golf that older adults could play. Where are they in the plans? The students need a place for their graduations, for play, productions, and concerts with ample room for the guests and interested townfolk. The community theater, the community choir, and band needs places to perform. The amount of empty buildings in Frankfort tells a story. Is it regulations or demands put on businesses by Franklin County? I used to go to downtown for shoes and clothes for the children and myself for nice jewelry. Nothing anymore. Why? I don't envy your work, but you wanted to better and serve Franklin County. You want to grow. You must provide excellent school curricula and programs. You must provide for family needs all year round. Take care of the children. Phyllis Vincent. This is from Lindsay Jackson. I'm writing to show support for building our 4-season 50-meter competition pool in Frankfort. Frankfort has the opportunity to fill a need, not just for Franklin County residents, but the state as a whole. My kids have participated in swimming since they were toddlers. As a parent, I felt strongly about my children being able to keep themselves safe in the water. As they progressed, they not only learned how to stay safe, but to find the health benefits of regular practice and the joy of competition. My kids learned to swim through swim lessons given at the YMCA. Then they learned about competition swimming through Frankfort Parks and Recreation's Stingray Summer Swim. That led my daughter to join TNT, a USA swimming team, who at the time practiced at the YMCA 6 times a week. She still swims for TNT, but we have to drive 45 minutes from our home in northern Franklin County to Versailles 5 days a week. 1.5 hours round trip for an hour and 45 minutes of practice. She is also in her second year swimming for the Western Hills High School swim team. For her, swimming is a sport where she can be individually competitive and yet still have a team atmosphere. In the 11 years that my kids have been swimming, we have seen the sport dwindle in Franklin County. The YMCA stopped letting swim teams use the facility. The K-State pool was unreliable, both in operation and availability. The Juniper Hills Aquatic Center is nice for summer swim, but swimming is a year-round sport. The community needs a pool that meets all its needs, not just a few. Relying on the YMCA to meet the needs for the community is unrealistic. YMCA member dues are unreasonable for a community with a 12.4% poverty rate. The monthly membership for a family is $75 a household, which totals $888 a year. In a county where 43.8% of the students are eligible to participate in federal free and reduced price meal program, $74 a month is too high a price to pay. A state-of-the-art facility would be a huge boon to the sport amenity for the community and bring in tourism for swim meets. Recently, my daughter swam at the Cardinal Christmas Classic meet in Louisville. There were teams that were attended as far away as Colorado and West Virginia. Meets typically run from Friday afternoon through Sunday afternoon. That is 3 days the swimmers and families spend in the host city, staying at their hotels, eating from the restaurants, shopping in their stores, watching movies between sessions, and etc. The Summer Swim League that the Frankfort Stingrays is part of hosts a championship meet attended by over 900 swimmers and their families. Pushing a 50-meter indoor pool is dreaming big. The community would be ecstatic to get a 25-meter facility similar to Woodford County's Falling Spring location at Shelby County's Aquatic Center. However, Frankfort has the opportunity to do something extraordinary and give our community a competitive edge, not only in competition pools, but for athletes, but in a valuable amenity that can improve the mental and physical health of its citizens. Comparable facilities, indoor 50-meter year-round. Lancaster Aquatic Center, University of Kentucky, Ralph Wright Natatorium, University of Louisville, Mary T. Maher, Louisville, Blairwood Tennis Swim Club, outdoor with blow-up bubble for cold weather swimming at Blairwood, and Stivers Aquatic Center for Health and Learning at Union College in Barberville. Potential partner stakeholders from the general committee: swim lessons for all ages, water aerobics, lifelong lap swimmers, daycare enrichment programs, and summer school programs. And that's from Lindsay Jackson. Oh, here's some more, sorry. Stewart Home, as part of potential partners and stakeholders from the general community: the Stewart Home Senior Citizens, Assisted Living Centers, Lifeguard Certifications, Girl and Boy Scouts. High school swim teams: Anderson County, Franklin County, Frankfort High, Western Hills. USA Swim Team Clubs, TNT, previously used by the YMCA, now only practices it for sales. Potential new clubs, masters teams, Special Olympics teams, college swim teams. Thank you for your consideration for these comments. Respectfully, Lindsay Jackson, lifelong Franklin County resident. And I believe these are pictures. Let me read this one and then we'll show these pictures. The area for motorsports would be able to fit a 50-meter pool, a true Olympic-sized pool with plenty of seating in a completely separate building. This would be a major draw for schools as well as swim clubs, plus the facility would have close access to the parking lot next to the softball fields. My name is Allison Wood, and I was in attendance for Monday's discussion. I wanted to thank everyone involved in working on this and putting it together, even with setbacks that may have happened. As a frequent Lakeview Park user, trails, soccer fields, playground, likely more as my daughter grows up, I think this is a great project that is overdue, and I'm very happy to see it moving forward. I agree that much of what was discussed by the public around the needs for the community golf, pool golf, tennis, etc., but this needs to be assessed as a community whole versus just a single Lakeview Park. Where can we reutilize existing spaces? Capitol View Park, tennis courts, K-State pool, and buildings, old Sears, old big lots, etc. Maybe these are in the works apart from the Lakeview Plan, which would be great and would help the community understand why some of the decisions are being made the way they are. My specific interest is around soccer. I'm working with a group of consisting parents, coaches, YMCA reps, and surrounding soccer club reps to try to bring competitive soccer back to Frankfort. A key restraint currently is location for practices and games. I'm a huge fan of the fields provided in the plan, but I would like to understand who will be in charge of controlling the use of those fields as well as the current fields going forward. Will we be able to receive support to get goals, different sizes required for different age groups, nets, paint for striping, etc.? Will teams programs have to use the fields? If so, how much? It would be great to have an online scheduling system of sort to handle some of this. Thanks in advance for any light that you can shed, Allison Wood. And I have these pictures. We're talking about swimming in 8 lanes. I'll put those up there. And these are obviously from swim meets and the kids and parents involved in indoor swimming. Those are all the comments that we have gotten from email. I thank you for listening. Most of all, I thank you for your concerns and your comments. It is important that we hear from you. And as I said, the next process we'll be having a meeting of the Lakeview Park Committee. And as part of that meeting, I have asked the city to be part of it as well as the YMCA. And so we can get some clarification on what is going on in the community. Monies are limited, so we don't want to duplicate what is going on. We want to make sure that we get what we can for you as community members and what your needs are, as well as what we can afford. And so do the best that we can with the money that you give us. It's your money. Thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned. We'll continue to get you updated information as soon as we can. Thanks again.